let's forget the fantasy for a second. The one where genius is this big, flashy thing that gets you applause. The reality is, well, it's a lot darker and it's a lot more isolating. See, a truly sharp mind doesn't make people comfortable. It does the opposite. It sees the things people are trying to hide. It cuts through the polite fictions. And when you start seeing the world like that, really seeing it, people pull away. Your clarity becomes a threat, and you have to be ready for that. So let's get one thing straight right out of the gate. The idea that intelligence is something you're just born with, that it's fixed, it's a total lie. It's a convenient story that keeps people from ever trying to unlock what their minds are actually capable of. We're throwing that idea out right now. So what is it then if it's not a gift? It's a skill. And the skill is this: pattern recognition. That's it. It's not about knowing a bunch of facts. It's about seeing the same underlying blueprint in completely different situations. It's noticing how a conversation flows just like water around a rock. Once you can see the patterns, you see the entire game. Okay, this slide nails it. This is the difference. Most people get stuck on the content. They hear a couple fighting about a $50 purchase, and that's all they see. But the trained mind looks past that. It sees the structure. It understands, oh, this isn't about the money. This is the same pattern about safety and control that's been running their whole relationship. You see the pattern, you solve the real problem. All right, so how do you actually train your brain to see this way? This isn't just theory. This is the protocol, the exact set of drills that, if you do them, will completely rewire how you think in just 90 days. We're going to build this from the ground up with 4 core drills. Think of them as the pillars of your new mental operating system. Each one targets and rebuilds a specific cognitive function. Let's break them down one by one. Drill number 1, deep question isolation. It sounds simple, but it's brutal. For 20 minutes a day, you take one question, just one, and you go to war with it. You ask why, and you write down the answer. Then you look at that answer and you ask why again. You keep drilling down past the easy surface-level excuses until you hit the raw, uncomfortable core of the issue. This builds penetrative thinking. Second, information weaponization. Look, you have to stop being a passive consumer of information. From this point forward, everything you read, everything you learn is a potential weapon. You don't just take notes. You ask, how can I use this? You're not building a library of facts in your head. You're building an arsenal of tools you can deploy at a moment's notice. Number 3 is pattern harvesting. This is where the world starts to slow down for you. Every day, you're going to pick one place, a coffee shop, the subway, a meeting, and you're just going to watch. You're not listening to what people say, you're watching what they do. The repeatable gestures, the tics, the signals. After a while, human behavior stops being chaotic. It becomes a language you can read. And the final drill, cognitive combat. This one is designed to shatter your own biases. Once a week, you'll take an idea you feel strongly about, and you will force yourself to argue the opposite side. And not weakly, with full conviction. This breaks the mental prison of a single viewpoint. You achieve what's called ideological fluidity, the ability to move between ideas without being chained to any of them. Now, I have to be completely straight with you. There's a price for this. This path changes you, and not always in comfortable ways. Gaining this kind of clarity, it costs you something. The 90 days break down like this. The first month, you'll feel amazing. You'll have breakthroughs, you'll see things you never saw before. But that second month, that's the hard part. That's the alienation phase. The gap between you and everyone else will start to feel vast and painful. If you can push through that, the last 30 days are when it all locks in. Your mind becomes a precision tool. And this brings us to the tax on clarity. You have to understand, some of your relationships will not survive this. It's not because you've become arrogant. It's because you no longer share the same reality. And when that shared reality fractures, the connection often breaks with it. This loneliness isn't a possibility. It's a certainty. So here's the trade-off, laid out bare. The average mind is warm, it's fuzzy, it's connected, but it's fundamentally powerless. The trained mind is powerful, it's precise, it's effective, but it can be cold, calculated. You gain agency, but you might lose a certain kind of simple, naive warmth. It's a choice you have to make. Okay, so let's zoom out. Beyond the drills and the warnings, there are some core truths holding this whole thing together. Understanding these principles is what makes the training stick, and it's what defines the promise of what you can become. These are your 5 commandments. 1. Intelligence isn't a thing you have, it's a process you run. 2. Pattern recognition is the master key that unlocks everything else. 3. A flexible mind is always more powerful than a mind full of facts. 4. The more you see, the more you are responsible for acting on it. And 5. Never forget, loneliness is the tax you pay for clarity. Internalize these. So what's the point of all this? What do you do with this power? Because intelligence without a target becomes corrosive. It turns into cynicism and just tears things down. You have to aim it. Aim it at building a business, creating something beautiful, fixing your relationships, or at achieving your own personal freedom. It needs a mission. So there it is, the path, the drills, the price, the principles. I've laid it all out for you. But knowing the path and walking the path are two very different things. Now it all comes down to a choice. 90 days. That's the commitment. 3 months of doing the work. Every single day. No excuses, no breaks. That's all that stands between the person you are now and a version of you that operates on a level you can't even imagine yet. And let's be really clear about the end game here. The goal isn't to be smarter so you can win arguments. The goal is to be free from the automatic, unconscious programming that runs most people's lives. Free to see reality clearly and act effectively. That's a prize worth fighting for. But you know what? Most people who hear this will get a little buzz of inspiration, and then they'll go right back to scrolling on their phone. They'll have the intention, but they won't take the action. Transformation isn't born from intention. It's forged in the boring, daily discipline of doing the work. Your first choice is to not be like most people. I've given you the map. I've told you where the monsters are. I cannot walk it for you. So the only real question left is the one you have to answer for yourself. Will you walk the path?